Hey everyone, we're gonna get started soon. Thanks for being here. Just making sure everyone can get in. Can you guys see me at all?
No.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I mean, there's going to be a slideshow, but then I'll stop sharing that afterwards because I do want to see all you people because I can't see you. So, okay, we'll get started in just a minute. We're just going to give it one more minute because I see all these people coming in. So, and then we'll get started. And I apologize, I drank 2 cups of coffee instead of 1 today, so I might be slightly manic, but it's still gonna be a good time. Still gonna be okay. Oh, shit. And I do tend to curse quite a bit, so I apologize kind of in advance. So if you have kids listening or you're around little ones, then maybe just put your headphones in, because I am kind of a sailor. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And then if people continue to come in, they continue to come in. No big deal. So thank you again for everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. I am excited to teach. I love to teach about social media and help business owners make money because I fucking love money. It's fantastic. Oh, look at there's people's faces. How beautiful. Okay. And well, then that means I can show my face too. Oh my gosh, Dennis, it's good to see you. Here I am. So today we're talking about monetizing your social media, which I'm sure people talk about all the time. It's kind of like this ambiguous thing floating around of how you monetize. Sure, there are the ways where Reels pays you money for Reels, or Facebook pays you money for having a certain amount of views or people like that. But I'm talking about how to convert your followers into customers. So I put together a little presentation for you, breaking down exactly what I teach my coaching group how to do. So you guys ready? We're gonna get started. So first of all, if you could put in the comments, where are you from and why you're here? Because I'm curious and I want to make sure to answer any questions you do have. If you do have questions, put them in the chat and we will, I will answer them at the end of all this. So just go ahead and put in the chat where you're from and why the fuck are you here? And if you could please mute yourselves as well. And we will unmute afterwards and it'll be beautiful. Oh, look at all you people, beautiful. So people from all over. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, cool. And guys, my graphic designer is in the room. Shay, she is my graphic designer, video extraordinaire. So if you guys need any work in that area, she is themom.com. Okay, so cool. Lots of people from a lot of places here to learn, here to figure out how to make money. I love it. I love it. I love it. Good, because that's exactly what the fuck we're talking about. So let's get started, shall we? If this thing will work. All right. Yes, we already know that. So today we're going to cover the 4 C's of monetizing your social media. And there's already a typo on the first slide. So that's how we're doing today. But I'm a real human, you know, like I probably wrote this while I was half drunk, if I'm going to be honest. And then because that's where my mind flows the most. So no worries there. Just roll along with me. Okay. So the 4 C's of monetizing your social media is content, conversations, conversions, and then cashing out. And that's what we're going to cover today. So who am I? There's a really pretty picture of me. I'm Amanda Catarzi. I'm a fractional CMO. I'm a lead content writer at Inkery, which is my content agency. I help 6-figure brands communicate effectively through content, copy, and action-based marketing strategy. That's a mouthful. I also run a group coaching called Marketing Made Easy, where I help new entrepreneurs who are just getting started. Beautiful. All right. So have you ever asked yourself, how do I use social media to grow my business? I think we've all asked that question. How do I make money off of all my social media accounts? We've all asked these questions. And we're going to use the 4 C's of monetizing your social media to do that. So first is content. So content is always broken down into different types of content. I have multiple ways of breaking down content for different types of businesses, but here's some general rules to follow. You should have engagement pieces of content. Your content and profiles have nothing to do with you, okay? It has everything to do with what you're offering your clients, right? So creating a space where your ideal clients group together and gather is the goal. And this will naturally create engagement. So what I mean by this is content that people can have a space to speak on. It's over issues that they can come together on. So you're wanting to create content that people feel seen, heard, and can share their opinion on, and they will love you for it if you do that. The next type of content is education. So teaching your followers about the problems and how those problems are affecting their lives is just as necessary as educating them about the solution. And I recently did a post on this. A lot of people get stuck in the idea that they need to sell the solution. No, you need to sell the problem that you're solving harder. If you make them aware of how difficult the problem is that they're dealing with on a daily basis, they're gonna beg you for that solution. It also makes them feel seen and heard when you talk about their struggles, when you talk about the hardships they're enduring. It makes it relatable and they feel heard. And again, that makes them like and trust you more because they feel understood by you and will buy from you. I swear to God, if Michael comes in here one more time, I'm not going to let him in. Michael, quit jumping in and out. Okay, love you. All right, so entertainment is the next piece. It's not about what you say, but how you make someone feel, right? If you make your followers feel good, they're likely to trust you, and that will always lead to sales. So these are just a bit of the kind of content pieces you should be creating, but I really want you to focus on these 3 because they tend to be the most important. We'll get to pitch and we'll get to authority soon, but shifting your mindset around what your content should be and what your social media should do. Again, it's not about you if you're running a business. It's not about all your master's degrees or everything you've been through or your life story. It is about what can you do for your followers, how you're bringing value to them. So when they come onto your profiles, that should be abundantly clear to them about what they're going to experience when they encounter your brand. Clear as mud? All right. So the next 2 part is conversations and conversions. So I've heard on the left, I'm sure you've heard the phrase content is king. Well, I hate to break it to you, but content is actually more like the queen. And engagement is the true king. This is especially true right now for Instagram with its changed algorithms. So here is my engagement formula that I use. I teach to my clients. I have my virtual assistants use. And this is how I warm up an ideal client or a potential lead. Go like 50 stories. Go comment on posts by 10 profiles that are similar to yours. Comment on 10 posts of your ideal client. Repeat until 10 minutes is up. So you should be doing this 10 minutes prior to posting any content. It'll make people aware of who you are, and they will be able to jump over to your profile and see your new post and most likely engage with it. If you go comment on someone's shit, they're going to comment on your shit. If you don't comment or engage with any of their stuff, guess what? They're most likely not going to return that favor. So a lot of our clients that I work with, we run all of their social media for them, right? We're creating their content, we're posting for them. And so then the only piece left is they must engage. And so we've actually rolled out a new offer to where we have a virtual assistant go in and engage for them. But if you're a one-man team, if you're a new business owner, you need to be running this engagement formula 10 minutes before you post every single time. And it will get you more followers. It will get you more engagement on your content. And if you follow this sequence, then you're not going to get stuck scrolling down the page for hours, right? Because that's a total rabbit trail. You see a reel you like, and next thing you know, you spent 30 minutes looking at reels of dogs and puppies. Or am I the only one? Am I the only one who does that? Okay. Y'all are a bunch of liars. Y'all get stuck and sidelined by reels of puppies. I know you do. So this kind of keeps you in line and keeps you on track for creating more and more engagement. The next part is the conversion part. Yay! So the conversation part warms people up. And once you've started that conversation in the comments, go ahead and direct message them to continue the conversation. So it's not some random DM out of the blue. It's not like they have no idea who you are. You've already kind of warmed them up. You've already started talking to them. And this is kind of like a loose way of how we do it. So you tell them you enjoyed your conversation or what they said in their content, and then ask them to tell you about themselves. So I don't say, tell me about your business. I don't say, tell me about your family life. I'd say, tell me about yourself. And if they lead with business, that tells me what's important to them. If they lead with their life story, that tells me what's important to them. And I know how to approach them from that point. So if they're all business, then I kind of approach them from that professional way and hitting them with details about business and giving them advice or input or whatever. If they come at me from an emotional way, then I know to leverage and engage with their emotions in order to make them feel seen and heard. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So then I offer them at least one referral or introduction. And if they're not a total asshole, they will return the favor. And that's when you hit them with a copy and paste. So you don't do any copies and pastes until this point, okay? The story that you have that you copy and paste will have a pitch subtly rolled into it and should either make the person you're talking to realize they're your client or think of someone they know who would be a good client for you. So do you guys kind of want to see what that looks like? Because I got one all loaded up for you. So this is a story example. This is something I copy and paste. If you've gotten this from me, you guys are awesome. So when they ask me, how about you? Or tell me about yourself, or what's going on with you? I copy and paste this sucker into there. 10-year veteran social worker that got tired of trying to help people that didn't want my help. I took all my communication and psychology training and applied it to content creation and marketing. Now I run a badass content and marketing agency, Inkery, and marketing coaching group, Marketing Made Easy. I live to give badass brands the content, copy, and aggressive marketing strategies they need to increase sales and impact. So what I did here was I gave them some background on me, which is also my unique sales proposition. I have 10 years experience of communication and psychology training that I apply to marketing. So I'm differentiating myself from other marketers, other content creators in the field because of that piece of information I just threw in there, right? They don't feel like I'm pitching to them. I'm totally pitching to them. And then I also tell them what I do. So they're very aware of, that I create content, that I have a marketing group as well. And I say, I live to give badass brands and I give aggressive marketing strategies. So I'm using the word badass and the word aggressive to really hone in on very particular client types. My ideal client is the quote unquote toxic male who is running their coaching group. They're really into Andy Frisella, Ed Milet, 75 Hard, Joe Rogan. They probably like to hunt. Those are my dudes because me teamed up with them, we can make a ton of money. They're phenomenal executors. They just need to be told what to do. And that's what I do well. Bless you for taking those, guys. Carolyn takes the woo people. So if there's any woo people on here, talk to Carolyn because they are not mine. I do not give hugs. Um, but you guys see what I did in there, right? I showed how I was different from everybody else. I gave them background. I gave myself authority, and I used words that qualified and disqualified who my ideal client was. So it's really just a subtle, quick way to do all of that. So I can send this to you so you guys can like copy and paste and reorganize in order to, make it your own. But this is a general story that I copy and paste into my DMs once we get to that section. Now the cash out part, and I'm sure Brendan, who is on here, Booth and Vanguard, he's a sales expert and closer. He would probably have a lot to say about this, but the first part is know where you're leading your leads, right? You have to have a plan, a funnel for your leads, and you need to have that in place ahead of lead generating. So if you get to this conversion point and you don't have a place to send them, if you don't have a link, if you don't have a product, you did all this work for nothing. And it's a hot mess express, and people don't trust you if you've led them this far to nothing. Then they're like, what the fuck? And then they peace out. So have a plan ahead of time of how you're going to get them from that first conversation, that first point of interaction to a link that pays, or to a landing page, or to an email. You have to lead them somewhere. That's why they're fucking called leads. You're leading them somewhere. Lead them to a place of value, okay? All right, that coffee is really surging through my veins right now. All right, number 2 is ask for the money, honey. Most people get weirded out when it comes to sales, but if you truly believe in the value of your offer and that it's the right choice for your lead, there shouldn't be any weirdness. If you're offering them a shitty product, then you should probably feel bad about what you're doing. But if you're offering them something that you truly believe is the right fit for them, it's not weird. You're doing them a favor. You're helping them. You're offering them a solution. So shift your mind around sales. It's not this weird, sleazy thing. And if you're a business owner, guess what? You're in sales. Hate to break it to you. And you're also in content creation until you get to a point where you can outsource all of that stuff. A lot of times I'll tell a client, listen, you shouldn't spend your money with me just yet. You need to spend your money here or over here or with a therapist, So I have no problem saying no to money if it's not the right fit. And if you take clients that are not a good fit for you, it is going to bite you in the ass. It is the worst thing you could do. So if you are 100% sure that your product is the right thing for this person that you're trying to pitch to, it won't be weird. It'll be nice and beautiful and it's like a good date, right? So make the process easy and simple is number 3. Giving your leads a quick, clear, and painless path to purchasing what you're offering is essential. How many of us have gone to buy something online and it wants you to create a login and a profile, and it wants you to enter all of your information? You're like, fuck that, and you're out. You don't finish the purchase because they wanted you to create a profile. I've done that a gazillion times. Don't get greedy. Just get them to the sale. You can send them a nurture sequence afterwards. Just get them what they want instead of trying to get them to create a profile, do all this, do all that, do all this, do all that. Just get them to the sale. I said, don't get greedy in this process, trying to get all their info and getting them to sign up for your newsletter, etc. Just take their money and have a nurture sequence that follows up with them. I know too, and this is going to make me sound old, but if I walk into a store or if I go to, someplace where I'm going to buy something and people aren't selling me, there's no customer service, I get annoyed. I'm like, come on, I'm here to spend money, sell me on this product. So people, when they are in a place of pain, And if you've offered them and you've set them up right in your funnel, they'll be wanting you to sell them. They will be wanting you to lead them to the purchase. So make it painless, make it simple. If what happens if they don't buy now? Make sure you can put them on a list so that you can continue to build that relationship and support until they're ready to buy. So I have a spreadsheet. It's called my hit list. It's called my warm leads list. And I have names, Instagram profiles, whatever information I have about them, pictures. Just kidding. I don't have their pictures. It just kind of sounded creepy, the route I was going down there. I have a list. And I make sure that I support those people's content. I make sure that I'm a good friend to them. I make sure that I'm commenting on their stuff and sharing their stuff. Someone who does a fantastic job of that with me is Brendan, who is on here. He shares my shit all the time. Dennis, also, you share my shit all the time. I'm grateful for that. And if I ever am in a place where I need to pay you for something, I will be more than happy to do that. Not because you're both my friend, but because you guys are huge supporters of my business. And I'm so, so grateful for that. So a little comment, a little like, a little share goes a really long way, especially for small business owners. So if they don't buy now, put them on a list, put them on a hit list, make a spreadsheet, and engage with their stuff as consistently as possible. And I promise you, it'll pay off. All right, you're a pro. So let's review. Content. Remember, your social media content isn't about you. It's about your ideal client and audience. Create content and a space for them to engage with you and to learn and to grow and to tell their opinions. I remember I had a conversation with one of my coaches, and she's like, Manda, you do way too much educating. You don't do enough entertaining. And I need you to start thinking about your social media like a stage. You're creating a stage for your followers to come and speak on and to be seen and to be heard. So again, shift the way you think about your content, shift the way you think about social media. It's not about you, it's about them. Conversations. Keeping conversations real, honest, and genuine will build trust in real relationships, which is the foundation for any monetization. So I know I'm introverted and I'm super aggressive, or so I've been told. And I've had to work really hard at becoming a people person and learning how to build relationships, because that's just not something that comes easy to me. And I always used to say, I hate people, which is not, it's just not true. I'm an introvert, yes, but I don't hate people. And a lot of people are like me, and they forget that our business is built on people. If there weren't people, we wouldn't be making any money. And I know this is pretty basic stuff, but it's good to be reminded of that. These are the people who are buying your shit from you. So be a real human, be genuine, and build relationship, because all business flows out of some type of relationship. The better that relationship is, the more money tends to flow. So if building relationship and communication is not something you're good at, there are a gazillion books out there, a gazillion courses out there. Go find one and work on that. It'll pay off, I promise. All right, conversions. Know where you're leading your leads to. Make sure that system or funnel is in place long before you start this process, and keep it simple. Something else I want to say about funnels is sometimes people get way too complicated with them. There's you need to put in your email, and then you get a funnel, and then you get 20 emails, and then you have to sign up for something. Don't make people jump through a gazillion hoops, again, to get to your buy. A funnel is just a process to get them to the buy. And I think people forget about that. And then they build this very elaborate funnel, and the person is exhausted by the time they get to the pitch, and they don't want anything to do with you. So don't put them through a whole freaking Spartan workout to get to the sale, to get to the pitch. Sell them early, sell them clearly and simply. All right, and then cash out. Don't be shy when it comes time to present your offer. If what you're selling is truly valuable, you're doing them a favor, not manipulating them into making a decision. If it ever feels like you're trying to convince them of something, if it ever feels like you're manipulating them, then you need to tap out. That's not in line with what you're doing. If you feel like you're having to convince them to buy, then your funnel isn't good. You shouldn't have to convince them to buy by the time you get to the pitch. It should be the easiest ask in the world. So if you find yourself really pushing hard to sell people by the time they get to that conversation with you, you need to back up and see where your funnel is weak and fortify that early on. By the time people get in my DMs, they're ready to buy. They're asking me for the links by the time they're there, because of my content, because of the conversation, because of the engagement, because of all the things I do prior to that. And if you want to sell on social media, you have to ask. A lot of people forget to ask. This is a big problem that most of my clients have, is they're like, I don't know what the deal is. And they'll like post something and it'll be beautifully inspirational or educational, but there's no call to action. There's no comment. There's no DM me. There's no, here's the link in bio, whatever that could be. So you could be doing everything right. You could just be forgetting to ask. And a lot of times people don't even know your offers exist if you're not making that ask. They just think you're being friendly and conversational, which is fine, but it's not fine for business. Does that make sense? Yes, no? Okay. Which brings me to my pitch. Gotcha. If you want more training like this, I have a coaching group called Marketing Made Easy. So what happens in there is we have weekly trainings, group coaching calls, live Q&As, tools and template drops. And then also you have community with other business owners. So every single week that's happening. So the normal price is $297 a month. But for you guys, I'm doing $197 a month. There's no contracts. You can pop out whenever you don't want to be in there. It's a limited time, but the link's not in the chat. I should probably do that. Here we go. Oops, I'm not talking to Brendan. Everybody, if you guys want to join, I would love to have you. It's a total badass group. Like I said, we answer the questions directly. Shay's in there, Brendan's in there. And I want to see you win. The goal is to get you to win big. And that's what's happening for everybody in there. So let's connect. There's me on Instagram. There's my website. I would love to talk to you guys more about your business, about your content and what you're doing. But yeah, let's, I don't know if anybody has any questions, but I would be down to answer any questions you guys have about marketing or about content creation. Just unmute and go for it. And this is basically what happens in the group is we have a 30-minute training. And then after the 30-minute training, we open it up for any questions you guys have. So I'm going to shut up. And if you guys have any questions, just unmute and ask them. I'm also really good with silence, so.
I'm interested in your coaching group. Where I'm at right now is I'm in the process of building a company and building some things. I've always just used my social media kind of as just my machine gun of whatever I'm thinking about or going through, or and kind of for the last year or two, it's kind of been my therapy, which has been fine, but it's not really good for building business. So I'm starting to think into transitioning as I start to bring the business I'm building into the public. I'm going to definitely be monetizing that on my platform. So I'm not 100% sure yet how to go about that. But I would definitely be interested in the coaching group. So I'm interested in learning more about that. So
cool. Yeah. Well, the links in the chat, we would always totally love to have you. If you're just building a brand on social media, then I would just talk about it all the time. Even if you're not sure what it looks like, even if you're not sure what's going to be called, just start talking about it and get people excited. And it's amazing how just talking about things will bring you a lot of clarity. So one of my coaches tells me action brings clarity, and you'll hear me say that all the time. Action brings clarity. So if you have an idea, if you want to go live and talk about, oh my gosh, I just did this training with Amanda, it was amazing, and it really got me thinking about my brand and What do you guys think about, this name or this name? The more you can involve people in your process, the more loyal they'll be to your brand. So if you allow them to vote on a name or vote on a logo or a color, or ask for their input, the more they're going to be invested in you, and the more likely they are going to be to buy whatever you're selling, because now they feel invested. Now they feel loyal to your brand. They feel like they're a part of creating it. So they're definitely going to buy. So I do this with a lot of authors. They'll write a book and the book's already written, but they need to get followers in order to get published. And I'll be like, do a poll on what the main character's name's going to be. And they're like, it's already going to be Sally. And I'm like, I know you know that, but they don't know that. So throw up Sally and throw up Karen and see what they vote, because it's going to get them involved and make them feel involved. So get creative with that. And then as far as your content, I'm all about planning, because if you plan it ahead of time, you build consistency. And so you need to choose your 4 pillars, your content pillars, and rotate those. So mine are copy, content, and strategy, and like some personal and business development. So those are usually my 4 pillars that I rotate through. I also quiz people, or I poll people every single weekend now about what topics they want to hear. But those topics are going to be from those 4 areas every single time. So it keeps me on brand, keeps me in my lane, and keeps me giving them what they want. So everyone votes on what they want to hear about. Like this content this week is about marketing outside of social media, and like what other areas can you use to market your business on, and that's what won the poll. So yeah, so that was just like, I just blasted you with a fire hose on that, but I hope that kind of
No,
helped.
thank you.
Yeah, I
Thank you. I
know.
appreciate it.
I know.
A
Mike, go ahead.
No, I'm in a little bit of a situation because I've been building something that I don't want the public to know yet.
Why?
So it's, well, simply because in this area, it's extremely, and I know this sounds, maybe I'm wrong on this, but it's extremely competitive in this area. Um, and I wanted to lock down all the LLC and the name and that kind of stuff.
Okay. I mean, I get the
Um,
name, but like it's so funny because Michael and I had a conversation about this. He's like, I want to work in secret and nobody to know what I'm doing. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because someone might steal it. I'm like, fuck them, let them steal it. They're probably gonna
right,
fuck it up.
right,
Like,
right,
go ahead and see if you can do it better than me. I doubt you can. There's so
right,
many people doing marketing. There's so many people doing groups. There's so many people doing all of this shit. There's nothing new. There's nothing new.
right.
So if someone thinks they can take my idea and do it better than me,
They
okay,
deserve it.
have a good time trying, sweetheart. Like it's not gonna be
Right.
anything like I execute. So go
Yeah.
for it. But I get the LC, I get the name. So that I understand. Like you kind of want to
Yeah.
hold the name close. Okay. But everything else, you can talk about what you're doing still.
Right. Right. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
of course. I know Michael asked about more funnels in detail, and Carolyn jumped on that because she's actually a funnels expert. So she said a funnel is laying out your ideal client journey and connecting each moment to the next. So I think that's super key, because a lot of people will be top of funnel, which is like social media, ads, like very low lying fruit, and they'll try to sell people right then and there. And they don't understand that it's just a stepping stone to the next thing. So you're always trying to get people to just take the next step. So from the ad, you're trying to get them to click, right, on the link or whatever. And then from that link, maybe they land on a landing page. Then you're trying to get them down the landing page to your first buy button. And then that's when you sell them, right? And that's a very short funnel. Some are much longer, obviously, but people get so caught up in trying to sell in the first touch point, that they like over push, or they don't use catchy enough words because they're focused on the wrong thing. You just want to get them from the first step to the next step, from A to B to C. So I think that's super important that she brought that up. So you're just kind of wanting to lead them down the path from stranger to lead to client. Beautifully said, Carolyn. God, you're good. It's knowing the next step for each lead and what they need to know or do next, and making those things clear to them. This is why she's an expert of funnels. So I think, again, what's really important, what she said, is knowing the next step for the client. Not your next fucking step. What's the next step for the client? Where are the objections? What objections are they? What fears do you need to overcome? What hurdles? Sometimes price is a hurdle. So understanding your response ahead of time to whatever fears or objections they have, and that comes from intimately knowing your ideal client. I have pages on my ideal clients. I've got 3 avatars, and the alpha male guy is my number 1 dude. I know him. I know his name. I've named him. I know if he's married or not. He has kids. I know what he looks like. Like, I know everything in detail, because then I can start hitting him from every single angle. I show up in 75 hard groups. I show up in the Lions Den. I show up in Apex. I show up everywhere this fucker goes. He can't get away from me because I know where he's going to be. And I'm eliminating his fears at each area. So by the time, again, I pitch, he buys. It's like the easiest thing in the world. I don't even know what any of those things are. Don't worry, it's not your ideal client, Carolyn. So don't worry about it. That's pretty funny. Carolyn and I literally have polar opposite ideal clients, which is why it's fun to just like have her as a co-collaborator and associate. Any other questions? I hope that answered your question, Michael, on the funnel. And if you have further questions about that, like I said, Carolyn's a freaking expert at it. So now I'm selling Carolyn.
I'm sorry. I get really, really eager about funnels.
I love it. No, that's what you're here for, girl. I love it.
You got it. I should hold back. This is not my thing. This is Amanda's thing.
Stop. We just say no to lack mentality. This is a place of abundance. So no.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Any other questions?
I just want to say thank you so much. This was freaking amazing. There's so much stuff, like when you say content is not about you and about creating a stage for followers to interact and stuff. I have no interaction on any of my stuff, and I just realized that's the reason why, and stuff like that. So I got to run, but I'm super excited to meet you this weekend.
Yes.
And I'm actually coming to Sarasota to meet with an Amish kid who is going to be in the business that I'm building.
No way.
So I'll have to see if maybe we can meet up.
Oh, hell yeah.
And yeah, I got a boogie, but thanks, guys.
Bye, Dennis. So background story, Dennis and I think we met like 15 years ago or so. We went to ministry school together, or even before that, we knew each other. So it's kind of fun re-engaging with each other. And he's going to $1 Million Mastermind this weekend. And I'll be there as well. So he comes from an hardcore Amish background, and I kind of come from an Amish background as well. So he's just a cool dude. He's a cool dude. He actually made an Amish cryptocurrency. And his commercials were hysterical. So he's a cool dude. Anyways, so if there's no more questions, I will be sending out a replay of this. And if you guys want the presentation, I can email that to you as well. So just DM me if you want the breakdown of everything. And yeah, if you want to join the group, cool. We'd love to have you. If not, just keep following me, and there's tons of information on there. Or DM me if you have any questions about marketing or content. If you have questions about funnels, hit Carolyn up. She's your girl. Yeah, and thank you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks, Amanda.
Bye.